Welcome to New Music Ride to everyone with your favorite singer, songwriter, and Lyft driver, Lily. So who do I have the pleasure of driving tonight?
Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
So I just played for Stephanie Breakfast from Bottles. Not too late to ask for help. When you're this quiet, I can never tell that you need a lifeline to pull you in. When you drink breakfast from bottles and you can't sleep through the night. When you're that
I love it. Wow, I'm over here like,
and you'd rather drown than fight for life.
I like it.
Just know that I'll be there for you. What did you think?
It hit me right here in the feelings. Because I've been sober since December 28th and I am 9 months pregnant. I was out in the streets in a tent. And right now I'm in this residential program. I can relate to everything you just sang about. You know, just red and sunken eyes. Like, wow. I'm just like, well, how many times did I not look in the mirror and seen my eyes bloodshot, and I had bags that came down to my cheeks and stuff like that. I've gained about, I'm gonna say 40, but no, I've gained 80 pounds since I've been in the program. I was like 130 pounds soaking wet. I was pregnant, and I was still that little.
Yeah,
I had, my baby was way beyond underweight. He was very underweight. Right now he's 9 pounds 2 ounces in here.
Wow. Yeah. So you've been getting healthy just in 3 months. Look at how much you've turned around. Yeah. And you and I were talking, and I had mentioned I was adopted and a former foster youth, and like these 3 months you changed your mind about a lot of things, right?
Yeah. I went into a program because I don't know if it was God or if it was the baby or it was my higher power for sure telling me, if you have a baby, it's not just you by yourself. Go out there, look for help, and have a healthy baby. Even if you're not going to keep them, even if you want to put them up for adoption, you know, just make sure the baby's healthy. Because I didn't want to have to give birth to a baby that was sick and have somebody be burdened with their health or life-altering illnesses that are not cured. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to get my ass into treatment. Excuse me the language.
That's fine.
I was gonna get myself into treatment and have a healthy baby for somebody else to take care of. Because I had reservations. I was like, I'm not ready. I still want to go out there and do what I do, you know, to numb my pain. But being in the program I'm at, it's a residential program for women who are pregnant or with babies. So we have girls that are, of course, pregnant like myself. And then there's girls with newborns and toddlers and stuff like that. So I've been at home with about 3 or 4 babies at the time when I first came in. And just watching the moms, like, be sober with their kids and, like, hearing all the success stories about how they're going to court and they're getting custody of their kids back. And I have 2 older kids, you know, who are in Arizona. And I'm like, this is, I'm going to take advantage of my situation and I'm going to keep the baby because I'm not going to go through all this effort, through all this hard work in order and just to give up like that and give up a baby. It's not a puppy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's God gave me this gift. So why not take advantage of it, you know? And so thank the Lord that we have the help that we do have from the government, and we get all kinds of funds and CalWorks and CalFresh and this and that. So,
well, you need it because you're starting from ground zero, and you have to also additionally take care of another life.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to be on welfare. I want to, you know, but I'm like, that's what it's for. It's for me that I'm struggling right now to take
and there's nothing. Absolutely. When you need help, and there's no shame in it. I got fully scholarship to go to rehab. I had nothing, no money, nothing, no job.
The push, you know, that we do get, that, you know, we're entitled to get, you know, because we're not taking advantage of the system or nothing. We need it. So I'm like, I'm gonna take advantage of the little help that they're giving in.
Yeah, you're gonna create a new life for yourself and now for your child.
The funds that they're giving me, they're helping me pay for my RBH. They're gonna help me pay,
which is residential,
like right before you get to interim housing.
Right.
And then after that, I'm gonna go to my interim housing and then permanent housing. I'm with the Mamas program, so which is helping.
Yeah, it's great to be able to share these resources, because a lot of times people, that's one of the biggest reasons or excuses they make to not get sober, is because they can't afford it.
Yeah, go get your butt to the DPSS office and go and ask and talk. And be an open book and don't lie. But just open up. That's what social workers do. They're supposed to help you. They're not the enemy.
Yeah.
So the more you open up and the more honest you are, the more help that can land on your lap. So I went and I got my help. Right now I'm in the residential treatment I'm in. I made up my mind that I'm gonna keep the baby. I already named him. I named him after my mom as well.
Aww.
Yeah. Because even though he's a boy, I'm naming him after my mom. Because Guadalupe, it's unisex name. Yeah. So Joaquin Guadalupe is gonna be his name. He's gonna come hopefully next Tuesday.
Yes, I was picking up Stephanie from the hospital because she had a little scare. Maybe the baby was coming early.
I was like, no, I wasn't ready.
And then you mentioned to me that you were in a residential treatment, and then
I was giving my story to the 4 weeks.
Yeah, and it just turned out today, before I picked Stephanie up, I was actually dropping off some supplies to a woman that I'm helping who's in treatment, earlier in Tarzana Treatment Center, the one who actually inspired me to write the song Breakfast from Bottles that I just played for Stephanie. And so it goes full circle. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful song. And I can tell it comes from your heart and from...
Oh, it comes... Yeah, it's just...
You wrote that with love.
And it brought me back to that place. Now, 5.5 years later, I never thought when I was asking someone else for help that I would ever be in the shape to help someone else. I barely wanted to live. That's how bad it was at that point. And I was doing intakes at Cry Help and Claire, which are the state-run facilities that you can get with Medi-Cal. I reached out for help, and a friend made some calls and then helped me get scholarship through Music Cares Foundation because I'm an artist. Saw that I wanted it. I was doing the intake calls.
You were willing to do the work.
Yeah. It's one of those things now where I've learned, I've always had a big heart, but it's you can only help people that want to help themselves at a certain degree. You can let people know what the resources are and things like that, but you can't make a horse drink water. You can just lead him to water.
Mm-hmm. That's without a doubt. And I know when I ran out of my tent, barefoot. And I said, I need the help. Take me.
Literally, barefoot and pregnant.
Yeah, barefoot, pregnant, in the riverbed, in a tent, hungry. But I was more hungry for the solution to my problem. I don't just want a roof over my head. I don't just want to have a baby. I want to be able to provide for him. So I want to go to school. I already have my ducks lined up, ready to knock it down. Because I know that just this little 3-month program is not going to be the end of my work.
Yeah. Well, now you've kind of had a taste of what your life can be like if you continue on this path.
Yeah, and my mom's proud of me now. And I talked to her.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Hearing your story and what you've done for yourself in 3 months, you know.
I got healthy. I got the baby healthy.
And trust me, being someone who was a product of adoption and foster care, it's just, no matter how hard you might think it is to be a mom, it's really hard. Yeah. I think later on in life to be a mother who gave up a child too. Yeah, I can't speak for you.
I'd be able to live with myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking down on the females that have taken that path, but I don't think
there's a wound that not only myself.
That would be a big hollow in my chest that I will never be able to fill, no matter how many pookies you give me, no matter how many shrimp sticks you give me, no matter what, I will never be able to fill.
Yeah, as an adoptive child, it's definitely a big hole, one of those God-sized holes that I carried, and didn't understand how big it was because I had learned to mask it and self-medicate, but pretend everything was great and fill it up with, validation. But I was never able to be myself because I could never share with someone the pain that I was carrying. Until I got sober.
Yeah, because you think nobody can relate. That's one of the reasons why I like to, when I came in, and I'm an open book.
Yeah.
For example, my mom, she doesn't like to tell people I'm in rehab. She doesn't like to tell.
It's a generational thing.
Yeah. She doesn't like to tell people that my brother's in prison and stuff like that. She's just like, oh, he's at work or something, And then when they ask about me, like, oh, she's doing fine. She doesn't tell them over, she's getting help for. she's pregnant or stuff like that, this is like to her own sisters, you know, that she lives with. That, and I tell her, Mom, I'm not embarrassed of my past. I am not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Because thanks to all those dark days and all those clouded skies that I could never find the sun in, I am who I am today. And I am thankful, and I appreciate little things like indoor plumbing. Being able to shower, you know, and it's stuff that we take for granted, but it's like, I feel like that's what makes me a good Christian now. Because I appreciate the little stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't know how good I had it until I didn't have nothing.
You did, yeah.
This is just the beginning of my story.
That's right, girl. That's right.
Next week, healthy baby.
Yay!